So now you may be asking, why multiply? If we have to do addition for multiplication, then why we need to explicitly learn multiplication? Let me try to give you an answer for that. Again, let's take an example. Suppose you have got certain flower pots in a garden. One, two, three, four. I'm just drawing flower pots in a garden planted or put like this. So these are the flower pots placed in a garden. Now, if you are asked how many pots, how many total pots are there, so you can simply count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you can simply count and say there are 20 number of pots. But there is another way of doing this through multiplication. So how many pots are there in each row? If you count in each row means how many rows are there. This is row number 1. This is row row. This is row number 1. This is row number 2. This one is row number 3. Row number 4. This is row number 5. So this total is row number 1, and how many flower pots are there in one row? You can count 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 flower pots. 4 flower pots in there are 4 flower pots in one row, or in each row there are 4 flower pots. You can count. And how many number of rows are there? There are total 5 number of rows. There are 5 rows and 4 pots each row, right? So now how can you figure out, by knowing these two elements, the total number of pots? So how many times 4s are there? 1, 2, 4 in each row. So how many times 4 are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see that there are 5 times 4, or you can also write this as 5 fours. So 5 fours or 5 times 4 can be written with a symbol in between. This symbol is multiplication symbol. So 5 fours are, as we have already counted, this to be equal to 20. So 5 fours are 20. If you know these two numbers 5 and 4, you can figure out the total numbers without practically adding the number of flower pots, if you know something called multiplication table. Multiplication table. If you know multiplication tables, for here, if you know the multiplication table basically of 5. I will discuss this multiplication table in my later video, but if you can memorize this multiplication table up to at least 9, it will help to figure out total number. If you can memorize multiplication tables at least up to 9, you can solve many problems related to multiplication. Or suppose you are given how many pots will be there if there are 98 number of rows. Now it will be very difficult and it will be very time consuming if you count number of pots, or if you go on adding one at a time, then it will be very time consuming. Rather than, if you can figure out a simple multiplication, 98 multiplied by 98 times 4 or 98 into 4, it will be easier for you to arrive at the total number of pods given the number of rows to be 98. So this thing I will tell you in my next video, but for this I just want to let you know that memorizing multiplication table, though I do not like much memorizing for mathematics, because mathematics is all about understanding things, but if you can memorize multiplication tables at least up to 9, and better if you can memorize up to 20, it will help you a lot in your future mathematical problems at least. So I hope I have been able to make you understand why multiplication exists. If our videos and website www.decodemonk.com helped you in any way, you may thank me by subscribing to my channel and clicking the like button. Please remember to share the videos so as to help other fellow students like you. For queries, please comment here or through contact page of our website decodemonk.com. And above all, thank you for your patience.